It seems like everywhere you turn these days, people are talking about AI. Every day there's a new tool or app or something promising to like revolutionize how we work. And the Minisforum AtomMan X7 Ti is a great example of that, right? This mini PC is getting attention for being built for AI. And we're going to dive into a YouTube review from Tech Reviewer's channel name and see if it lives up to the hype.
The interesting thing about this Minisform is it's not just a computer, it's like they're trying to make AI approachable. Like this is your entry point into this whole new world of computing.
Yeah, and the reviewer definitely picks up on that. Right out of the box, he is loving the design, the look of it. He even points out the fingerprint reader. You have facial recognition, even a little camera shutter for privacy. It's like they want this to be both powerful and stylish.
You don't see that very often, do you? A mini PC that's trying to look good while also being a beast under the hood. Shows they're thinking about who's going to use this thing.
And when he gets into the beast under the hood stuff, he is really impressed with that Intel Core Ultra 9 185R processor. He makes it clear that this is the engine that's going to drive all those AI tasks everyone's excited about.
Rightfully so. It's a really powerful processor, but what makes it special is it's efficient too. So you get the AI performance without needing a computer that takes up your entire desk.
Okay, so all that's great, but what does that mean for like me or our listener who might not be, an AI engineer? Can we actually use this AI stuff for our everyday work?
Oh, absolutely. Think about photo editing, video editing, even like AI tools that help you write or code.
That's pretty wild. Although the reviewer did mention something about thermal throttling. Is that something to worry about?
He did mention that, yeah, it's worth keeping in mind, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. It's basically how the PC keeps from overheating. Like if it's working really hard, it might slow down a little bit to keep from burning up.
Okay, so not ideal, but also not the end of the world. But who exactly is this Minisforum for, then? I mean, the reviewer mentioned creative types, people who work from home, but I feel like that's still pretty broad.
It is a pretty wide range, but he's not wrong. Think about the stuff people are doing these days. Creative projects, working with huge files, just staying organized. This AtomMan seems like it's for someone who wants a powerful computer that can keep up with all that, but also doesn't want it to take up their whole desk.
It really does feel like they thought of everything, like how do we cram all this power into something sleek and portable? But how practical is it, really? Can you upgrade it? Like if you want more RAM or storage space, did he say if that's easy to do?
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it? You want something small, but then you sacrifice upgradability. It sounds like you can upgrade the RAM and the SSD, but he did say it's not as straightforward as a regular desktop.
So maybe not for your average, like, tech hobbyist who likes to tinker.
Right, exactly. Minisform seems to be going from more of a we designed it well, you just use it approach.
Which, for some people that's perfect. And it does sound like they put a lot of thought into the design.
Oh, absolutely. He was raving about the cooling system they used, actually.
Yeah.
Like really innovative stuff, which you have to appreciate.
Yeah, shows they care about the details. But let's get back to this whole AI thing for a minute. I was listening closely to his review, and even though he seems super impressed with the AtomMan overall, he seemed almost unsure about the AI part of it. Like he wasn't really clear on what it's actually good for.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I think it speaks to where we are with AI right now. The technology is there, the hardware is there, but we're still figuring out how to really use it in our everyday lives.
So it's more like future-proofing at this point. Like it can do all this AI stuff, but whether or not you need it to is a different story.
Exactly. Think about it like this. What if in a couple years there's an AI tool that can like analyze all your data for you, or generate reports, or even automate those tedious tasks you do every day? This little Minisforum could probably handle all of that without breaking a sweat, even if those tools don't even exist yet.
So we're not quite living in a sci-fi movie yet, but it does seem like having a computer that can keep up with these advancements is like the new normal. Like buying a new phone, you don't just want the one with the best camera today, you want the one that'll still be good tomorrow.
It's about staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And this AtomMan, it's like Minisforum is saying, this is what's next.
They're definitely thinking long-term, giving you the tools to be ready for whatever's coming.
It's funny. We've talked about all this cool tech, the AI stuff, the power. But if you had to pick one thing that really stands out about this AtomMan, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think for me, it comes down to the portability, the fact that you get all that power in something so small.
Yeah, like you could literally take this thing anywhere and still have like a full-blown studio setup.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, where will you take it? What will you use all this power for?
That's a great question for our listeners to think about. Are you excited to jump into this whole world of AI, or are you more like, I'll believe it when I see it?
Either way, it's clear that AI is changing how we use technology, even if we don't realize it yet.
And this Minisforum AtomMan X7 Ti, it's a pretty good example of that. Powerful, portable, and ready for whatever's next.
And who knows, maybe even a little bit stylish too.
That never hurts.
Never hurts.